Hey everybody, and welcome to week number 2 or 3, depending on how you want to look at it, because our first week was kind of a half week. So welcome to the new week. What I wanted to do in this video is very briefly kind of run you through what we are going to be doing this week. And I know a lot of you have already gotten a head start, which is fantastic. But for those of you that haven't started on the week's assignments, I went ahead and opened up everything for exam number 1. Now, exam number 1 is not going to be this week. It'll be at the very end of next week. But you have an opportunity to go ahead and work ahead if you want to. So feel free to do that if that works best for your learning style. But the things that are going to be due this week are chapters 2 and chapter 3. Chapter 2 is kind of formal. It's a lot of neuroimaging, specifically looking at different techniques. And so you can see here that we talk about lesion studies and neuroimaging studies. So lesion studies being basically instances of brain damage or any kind of disruption in the brain, and neuroimaging studies being much less invasive, where we're using technology to measure brain activation and brain structure. And then this video down here is going to walk you through how we use neuroimaging or just neuroscience methods to study behavior and to study cognition. Chapter 3 is going to be a little bit more process involved. In other words, it's going to have a little bit more, not more biology, but more biofunction. In other words, how these parts of the brain are interacting with one another. And this is really where we're going to get the first taste of cognition this semester, in my opinion, because we're going to be talking about top-down versus bottom-up processing, which is something we're going to see in this chapter and throughout many of the chapters this course. So there's a couple of more videos here for you to check out. The book goes into a lot of detail regarding how the eye works and things like that. Don't worry about that stuff. I don't find that stuff to be important to understand cognitive psychology, and really that's probably something left a little bit more for sensation and perception. A couple of other things that I want to go over. For the chapter 2, this discussion, basically what I'm looking for here is I want you to pick something that interests you. So anything maybe you learned about in another class that you found was interesting, or in Psych 101 or in social psychology, anything that you find interesting. Maybe it's a behavioral thing, maybe it's a developmental thing, and form a research question around it that you might be able to test using neuroimaging. And so here is 2 parts. You're going to talk a little bit about what that experiment's going to look like, and then also what the neuroimaging technique is going to be, which you'll learn all about in chapter 2. But really the most important thing here is that you're going to explain to me a little bit about your research design. I'm not looking for more than just a few sentences here, and why you would use that specific neuroimaging technique. So don't say, that you would use fMRI because it's good. Explain to me why you think that fMRI would be good for your particular task. So that's all that I'm really looking for in chapter 2. Chapter 3 is a little bit more hands-on. Here you are going to be doing what's called a GoNoGo task. And this is a very popular task that is used in cognitive psychology. It's been around for a really long time, but like I said, it's used a lot to study different things, to study depression, attention, memory, decision-making, all different kinds of facets of behavior. And just to give you an idea, actually a project that I'm working on with another colleague at a different university, we used this task, not the exact same one that you're taking right here, but one that we made. This one is it's a little bit shorter. It's about 10 minutes long, but it'll give you a feel for what this is. And so the things that I want you to focus on here are not only just going to be your results, which are important, but I want you to think about what this is actually measuring, because this is something that is mentioned often when we talk about visual perception. But what else do you think it might be measuring? Is it just visual perception, or are there other cognitive mechanisms that allow us to solve that task? That's just something for you to think about. And that's all that I want you to focus on really for this week. If you want to, you can get a running start at chapter 4, which is going to be a very quick chapter on object recognition and face recognition, how we process objects. And then the discussion here is going to be is a quick task about how well you remember faces. The research paper that is going to be due next week is already posted. If you wanted to get another head start, don't feel pressured to do that. But if you know that you're going to have a really busy week next week, it might be worth at least reading over and letting me know if you have any questions. So far, participation in the discussion has been stellar. Don't tell my other classes this, but it's been better than my in-person classes by a long shot, and so I really appreciate that. And it's been really great reading about many of your backgrounds, including, I say that it's been great, but some of the stories that you've shared were unfortunate, like the person who sprained their ankle. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that. It's not funny. But if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can do that on the Ask Alex Anything section, or you can email me. Either way, I'm perfectly happy to talk with you then. All right, so I will see you in the discussion forum. If you have any questions, let me know. Have an awesome week. Bye.